Good morning, everyone. It is Wonderful Wednesday, and I am so excited that this is my very first live post. I am featuring tips for homeschooling help during this time of the coronavirus. I know it's been a sudden upheaval, changing of schedules, and everything, but I'm here to help you barrel through. These are survival tips for help at homeschooling. I'm so excited that you all are enjoying me this morning, and I hope that this Wednesday is going to be a great day. So, some of my friends have expressed, and I've seen videos of so many parents like, with this homeschooling, what do I do? And I've even heard some friends said their kids were expelled within the first 30 minutes of homeschooling. I remember those challenges, but I'm here to encourage you and to let you know that you can do it. Please take the time right now, share this live post with your friends, with your family, anyone who you know has children at home, grandchildren at home that could really use some assistance in how to help during this homeschooling time. I want to introduce myself. I have a veteran homeschooler. I homeschooled my children for 10 years. Yes, that is a decade, but I would not have traded it for anything in the world. I learned so much about my children. I learned so much about their individual talents, their gifts, and what God had created them for. And so I'm just so happy to be able to share this information with you. Please take the time, share this post, tell somebody. Miss Monica is live. They call me Teach. Miss Teach is live and she's here to help you with homeschooling tips. So, one of the things that I also wanted to share, thank you, Nathan, for joining. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Um, is that for um, how to home, some of the things I want to talk about is how to home order your day, how to find resources, also how to just navigate this challenging time with this coronavirus, how we can actually take this coronavirus and actually use it as an opportunity to teach our children. Um, so I'll be here. I'll be able to happy to answer any questions you might have, how to get started, um, resources as well. I'm here for you today. Okay, thank you. All right. So, as I'm waiting for others to join us, I just wanted to share this information with you. Please make a comment in the post. This is an interactive um, session. And thank you, Yvette. Thank you, Tiffany, for joining us this morning. Happy to see you as a part. Thank you, Stacy, for joining us today. Thank you for all my friends who are here supporting me during this time. We are out here with this coronavirus, but we are here to help you with your children at home and turn this coronavirus into an opportunity to be able to teach and expand our children's knowledge. Glad to see my daughter has joined this post today as well. And if you have any questions, concerns, anything you might want to ask that you feel might help your friends, your family who also have children at home, please make your comments and I'll be happy to join you. Thank you, Angela. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Again, this is a time for us to share tips and tools to help with those who are at school. So even if you don't have any children at home, you have a friend, you have a loved one, you can please invite them to come and share. And Miss Yvette Custis, I might even be asking you to join in because you are an educator, premier. We're friends for a very long time, so happy to see this is my very first Facebook Live post. So thank you, family, for joining us today. So now I want to go into this is that banner back there, Teach. just to tell you a little bit about me, I started a company, a business about a year ago officially called We Teach the Basics. It's educational and life skills services. For many of us, uh, especially in my generation, when we were in school, we had the advantages of being able to learn things like home ec, which taught us sewing, taught us cooking. We were also to take industrial arts. It taught us how to work with woodwork. We had music, and a lot of these things are no longer available in our schools. But during this time of the coronavirus shutdown, those of us who have those skills, we can reach back into our past and share the things that we learned when we didn't have technology, when we didn't have a computer. We had to do things with our hands. And this would be a great time to go back and use those same resources to help those young people that are in your family. So I'd like to know just quickly if you could put in the comments if you are home with children, if you have loved ones, if there are any resources that I can help you with. What are some challenges that you're hearing from those who do have children at home? We want to be able to help and empower them to successfully educate their children while they're home. Please put a post and make a comment as well. So one of the things I also want to do, thank you, Laura, for joining. Thank you, Kaylin. Good to see you for joining. This is so much fun. I hope that you're all having a great Wednesday. I'm going to be looking to actually do this on a continual basis. So I'm really looking for your support, for your comments. Please, 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 family, help me help our young people during this time and our grandmothers and our parents. So one of the things during our homeschooling time, when I first got started, I had no really clue of what I was doing. So I understand the challenge. Where do I start? Where do I begin? Well, one of the things I want to share with you is a lot of school systems that have shut down sent your children home with packets. And so that's a great place to begin. Uh, in Maryland, where we are, one of the systems that we use is called Dojo, where parents or guardians are able to interact directly with their teachers to actually be able to track the progress of their students. So, if through that, you may have your teacher's email address, you may have your teacher's information, and even though teachers are home, I know there are some that if you want to reach out and ask for assistance, don't understand the work that was sent home from your teacher, I know many of them, if you have their email, they will be happy to help you. Also, you can go if you're in Maryland or in your local community, you have a State Department online. Ours is MSDE, Maryland State Department of Education. You can go there. That is a great resource to be able to find out what your children need, what they're learning, grade by grade, subject by subject, so that you can find those resources to be able to assist you as you are assisting your children. Also, in this advent time, YouTube is also a excellent resource. You can practically type in any subject, any topic into YouTube, and you can find a video on it to be able to assist your children. One of the things that I love, because as I said before, we didn't have the wonderful technology of Facebook and all these other streaming services. So I had to become very resourceful with what I needed to do to homeschool my children. But we did have computers, we did have the internet. And so one of the things I learned to do was type in free workshops and free lesson planning. Homeschool has grown exponentially since the time I even ended homeschooling. So there's so many resources available out there. There are professional teachers that have placed their lesson plans online, as well as homeschooling families. Those who develop curriculum have free lesson plans. So you can literally type in free lesson planning. You can type in the subject that you're looking for, and you will be able to find those lesson plans to help you. Also, if you want to not inundate your child with a whole lot of screen time or technology, you can go back to the basics. You can print out free crossword puzzles, which are excellent for developing vocabulary skills, spelling. You can even create your own crosswords and word searches. If you just type it into your search bar, free um, crossword maker or free word search maker, and then that way you can tailor those tools to the lesson that you're working with your children as well. Another thing, let's go back to books. I'm sure we have books in our homes. Let's go back to just old fashioned reading. The recommendation, as we've seen so many times, 15 minutes a day. Well, we have more than 15 minutes to read with our children. So find a book that you like. Find a book that they like. Create a book. You can make your own book. This would be a great time for your child to be able to explore their imagination, and you and your child come up with characters, even about this coronavirus. And this would also be an excellent way for you to be able to sense how your child is feeling and how they're coping with all of this. We have to remember that our children had a schedule and they were used to going to be with their friends every day. And now it's not just a challenge for us as parents and caregivers to be able to provide the education they need, but we have to keep in mind that these same children might be missing their friends. So here's another tip and tool that you can use. Just like we're using this wonderful technology, connect with your children's friends or parents through Facebook, and you can create your own live group. You can create a group if you have a child for struggling with science. You can do it by interest. You can do it by subject matter. You can do it by grade. You can do it by age. Not just Facebook, but you also have technology like Zoom where you can see many people at one time. You can literally create your own classroom environment with those that you know, your friends, your family, and just share information and resources. The wonderful thing is we don't have to know it all. All we have to do is know someone who knows what we don't know and connect with that person, network with that person, and create a collaboration for your children and for yourselves. Which takes me to my next point. Support during this time is so important. You need support, your children need support, our families need support. And so, like I said, connect with those families. You never know who knows what unless you open up your mouth and you ask. So, like I said, we have a lot of educators. I have a lot of friends that are educators, and you might know someone who's an educator in your family. So that would be a wonderful way to reach out to them and ask them, give me some tips, give me some tools that I might be able to help with my student. Thank you, Tamara, for joining on. Thank you, Nate, for joining. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Erica, Kenneth. Great to see you, Vaughn, Wayne. Thank you all. This Facebook Live was originally designed for a special group of women, Mars. And I only see one on, but I thank you all for joining during this time. Again, please put your comments, put your posts if you have some questions, concerns. I have some educators that have joined us that are on my team. I'm sure they'd be able to chime in also and give some resources. Vaughn, thank you again. I give a shout out to my dear friend Yvette. We've been friends since junior high school, and she's been an educator for many, many years. So thank you all for joining as well. Comments, questions, concerns, please. And just thank you again all for joining me for my very first live Facebook post. It was a little intimidating for me, but again, I reached out to a friend. I didn't know how to do it. I gave her a quick call. She told me what to do, and here I am. All right. Another thing that we can do, just little things that you can do for your kids. So, like I said, if you're in elementary school, middle school, or high school, there's so many resources that are available for you to be able to use with your kids. So I made a list of resources that I wanted to share with you all that you'll be able to look at later on. Again, I mentioned for those of you who just joined us, YouTube is an excellent resource. You can type in free lesson plans in your browsers and free lesson plans can come up. If you have connected with your school in any way, emails are still available. You can still reach out to them. Also, an excellent resource I just found, Eni Pratt Free Library is offering a free e-card. You no longer need a physical card to access the many resources that the public library has. When I did homeschool, we were one income family. So I had to become very creative. I had to become very resourceful because I had to stretch that dollar. I had to make it do more than holler. I had to make it squeal, scream, squeak, whatever I could do to make it happen. And I found out that the Enoch Pratt Free Library, like I said, is an excellent resource. They have instituted a new streaming service called Canopy, and you can stream videos free. Um, just like you would go to, and I'm getting ready to date myself, back in the old days of Blockbuster, when we used to go to Blockbuster and go rent our videos and our DVDs. Now we have Redbox. And I want to say that if you go to Redbox, please remember lots of people's fingers are touching Redbox. So make sure you take your sanitizer with you, take your hand wipes with you as you go. Anything you're touching that several people will be touching, make sure we're using and being safe with our hand sanitizer and things like that. Now, the biggest thing I want to share, the biggest tool that you have is your own imagination. They say the sky is the limit. And if you can think of it, if you can conceive it, you can achieve it. But not just your imagination. What about your child's imagination? This is a great opportunity to actually connect with your children and not just find out where they are academically, but find out where they are mentally, find out where they are emotionally, find out where they are socially. This is a time where you can have great conversations with your children in a non pressured environment and just find out where they are. Find out what they like, what they don't like. You can explore more about what's going on in school, but just what's going on with them. That's great. Another thing you have, especially for those of my generation older, we have our own upbringing. Because, like I said earlier, we didn't have the benefit of resources like technology and video things like that. So we had to make up our own games. We had to. We were able to go outside, and you can still go outside, everyone. You don't have to stay closed up in your doors. You can go outside in your neighborhood and your backyard um, and still get some air, stretch outside. We have to adapt a lot because of this coronavirus. But those of us who know who we trust in and we believe in, He's the one who can give us those great ideas that we can use in our homes. Also, the things that they would do with their lesson plan, make it a family affair. Get everybody involved. So if it's a math problem, make it real. Go get some food out your pantry, and you can use all kinds of things, everyday things that are right there in your home for lessons. So, for example, you can take one thing and teach every single subject from it. I'll give you an example. I used to teach nutrition for 9 years. Thank you, Jeff. Good to see you. Thank you, Sally, for joining us. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, all my friends and family. Thank you, Tiffany. We got a food schedule as a challenge. We can address that. Erica, besides reading to my 1 year old, should I be doing more? All right, so let's tackle those. A food schedule, they're eating up everything. Like I said, we go to food. So how don't we take the food? We're going to take a plan. And if many of you are not familiar with, the government came out with several years ago something called Choose My Plate. It is an excellent resource. It's very colorful. It's user friendly. It's choosemyplate.gov, choosemyplate.gov. And on that website, you will find resources such as how to plan a meal. You can find links for recipes. You can also do calorie counting on there. You can do an exercise counter, for example. It actually tells you that if you ate a honey bun, let's say, it might take you 10 minutes of jump roping to burn off the calories from a honey bun. Or you can do 20 minutes of walking to burn off that the calories from that honey bun. So choosemyplate.gov is an excellent resource, Tiffany, that you can use. With that, you can actually plan what you're going to eat. This is a great time to do meal planning. I mean, we have TV shows, Rachel Ray and cooking shows, Master Chef. Let's use some of those TV shows that we watch and create it in our own homes. So let our children come up with recipes and come up with ideas of what they can. Let them look for a recipe. And like I said, we're going to use food as our example of how we can teach every subject. So food is nutrition. It's recommended that we have something from every color on our plate. And when you go to choosemyplate.gov, you'll see that that plate is designed with every color in mind. Look, I just rhymed. So that's another way you can incorporate color, especially for our young people. Also, some of us are still receiving paper flyers in the mail for our local supermarkets. Another excellent activity that you can do is you can use for younger people, you can go with them, teach them fruits and vegetables. You can teach them about meats. For our older children, you can actually let them plan. Give them an example like you have $10 to spend. What would you buy for that $10? And they have to use a supermarket flyer. You can even go online because most supermarkets and convenience stores or our like a CVS, something like that, they actually have their flyers online. You can use that flyer online and give them that activity to go ahead and do some shopping. That way you can teach budgeting skills and financial literacy with that plan. As you're planning your meals, you can go on the back of your label and read your nutrition labels. And you will notice that some of the labeling has changed. But for example, a can of soup, if it says it's 160 calories per serving and there are two servings in this can, how many servings or how many calories would you consume if you ate the whole can? You just did math. You can do the same thing with the percentages on it. Erica, you said besides reading to my 1 year old, should I be doing more? At that early age, they're just beginning to gain their skills in their hands, being able to grab things. So, all those toilet paper rolls that we're going to have left over from all that toilet paper y'all went and bought because the government said, oh my gosh, we're going to shut down. Toilet paper rolls are a great size for little people to kind of grab a hold to. Um, and so you want to find things that they can grab and hold that might be colorful. And while you're reading to them, you're pointing out the colors, you're pointing out, like if it's an animal story. And even though they can't repeat it, they're taking it all in. Your godson, he knows his alphabet, his ABCs, his one, two, threes, his colors. Repetition, 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 repetition. That's how we learn. That's how we as children take in information. Also, we want to make sure that we are touching all of our senses. So when you're doing your lesson planning, make sure that you're touching something to touch. If you can incorporate taste, something they can see, something they can hear. So when I homeschooled, we took a book, several books, and I'm gonna take Treasure Chest, Treasure Island, which we did, and we just had a great time with it. We made pirates. We dressed up as pirates. So you can take a book or a story. If it has food involved in it, you can prepare one of the foods that's in that story. When I was a organized group coordinator for my son and my daughter's middle school, the movie that had come out was Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. So we took that story and we bought my daughter's cloud blanket because it had to do with the sky. And with the school, which they allowed us to do, we prepared a day where we prepared foods out of that book, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. We had a story reading time and people took turns, and whoever was the reader, they put that cloud blanket on. So you don't have any clouds. Maybe you've got some cotton balls around the house. You can take some cotton balls and put it on a piece of paper, and those can be your clouds. So there's just so much you can do while you are home. I just appreciate all of you joining. Please put your comments in the comment section so I can come back to you so I can share and connect. Just really quickly, just by show of hands, if you can say amen, one, two, three. If you have children home right now, can you please, or right now, and you have taken on the responsibility of schooling your children or your grandchildren, can you put that in the comment section, please? I just want to see how many people have actually had to take on the role of a teacher. It's not easy. Hope during this time we also appreciate what our teachers do every day. It certainly is not easy in this time, but we just want to give a shout out to all of our teachers, all of our administrators, all of our principals who provide education for our children every single day. We couldn't do it without you. We couldn't be who we are without having someone teach us. And so that's why the name of my business, if you can see it, is We Teach the Basics. I have found out in the many, many years of working with children that a lot of our children, unfortunately, do not have those basic skills to build on. This is another opportunity for you to go back and see, where does my child need to be strengthened? What areas can I work on to help them with? Education is a family affair. It's a community affair. We all have to be a part. We all have to be involved. But this is a great time for us to be able to connect with our kids. So we don't have any questions. We don't have any comments. I just want to say thank you all. My very Facebook Live post. I appreciate all of you joining me today. I'm going to be doing more of this as I'm going to get better at it, more resources. Thank you for everyone who liked my page. If you haven't done so already, please go through those posts, especially during this time of coronavirus and COVID-19. I have put posts of resources and things that you can use to be able to help while you're home. I'm hoping that you all have a fantastic day. This is Wednesday. They call it hump day. And if it is hump day, that means you're on the top. And you have a vantage point that you can see where you've come from and where you're going. So hump day is a great day. Just remember, it's a vantage point day. It's a day where you can see everything and get a better assessment and get a better view. So I hope that even inspires someone to look at your Wednesdays from a different perspective. That Wednesday is a wonderful day. Please reach out, connect with your families, call someone you haven't talked to in a long time. Go through your cell phone. I'm doing it. Going through my phone, I'm reaching out just to connect and talk to and hear people's voices. Connect via live. Community, let's stay together. Let's love on each other. Let's help one another. We're going to make it through this. Put your faith and your trust in God. He is the answer. He's the one that gives us the peace that we need during this time, during this trouble. Let's pray one for another. Let's pray for those who have lost family members during this time of COVID, not just here in the United States, but all over the world. Again, we thank you for joining us for my very Facebook Live post. Thank you, family. Thank you. We got any comments? Shout outs. We love you. Thank you, fam. Let me see. Let me just make sure. Thank you, Brenna. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Nicole. All right, Sally, a high schooler. Thank you, Paula. Thank you, everybody, for just joining me for my. Thank you, cousin Vernon. I see you out there. Thank you, Faye. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining me for my very first Facebook Live post. During this coronavirus, like I said, I'm going to continue to go live. I'm going to continue to share resources. Please, you can hit me, instant message me if you need to. If you have some specific questions, I'd be more than happy to help you find resources as well. Thank you for sharing. Everybody, again, I appreciate you so much. Thank you, family. All the love to you all. I love you so much. Thank you again. And we'll see you next time. Bye.